Hey everybody, welcome to the video for 3.A, and with this what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be solving one-step equations. So if we take a look at our I can statement right here, it states that I can solve one-step equations using either multiplication, addition, subtraction, or division. Okay, so when we're solving one-step equations, this is our big piece right here. This is what we're really trying to do. The goal is to find the value of the variable. We're going to try to find that missing piece. Okay, and we can do this by performing the opposite operation of the equation, the opposite operation of what's happening. Okay, so here's my example right here. Is I have 6x equals 42. So this means 6 times something equals 42. Now before we were just simplifying expressions. We would just have 6x plus 4 and there would be no equal sign. Well, that's the difference between an expression and an equation, as an equation actually has that equal sign, and so now we can actually solve for x. Okay, so now that we can solve for x, 6 times what equals 42? Now, I know right off the top of your heads, some of you are already telling me, Mr. G, it's 7. Like, I know that 6 times 7 equals 42. And that's true. X does equal 7. Okay, but the biggest part here is we want to figure out the process of how to do this. Okay, because these equations are going to get a lot more complicated very, very quickly. And we might not be able to see it out of the top of our head. So because this is 6 times x equals 42, this operation that's happening in this equation is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So what I want to do is I want to do the opposite of 6 times x equals 42 to get x by itself. So because this is 6 times x, I want to divide by 6. And whatever I do to one side of my equation, I have to do to the other side. Okay, that's what maintains the balance. It's like a scale. So whatever I do to the left side of the equal sign, I have to do to the right side of the equal sign. So 6x divided by 6, these 6's cancel each other out. That's why I did it, because I got rid of the 6. And then 42 divided by 6 is 7. So I get x equals 7. Okay, so the big thing here is doing the opposite. So let's look at another example here. So now I have x minus 15 equals 32. So I want to get x by itself, so I want to solve for x. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this minus 15. I want x to be all alone on the left side of the equal sign. So to figure out what x is, I can do the opposite of minus 15, and the opposite of subtraction would be addition. So I can add 15, and whatever I do to the left side, I have to do to the right side. So I can add 15, add 15 to both sides. Okay. Negative 15 plus 15, this equals 0. It cancels itself out. I'm going to bring down my x because that's what's left over. Okay, x stays the same. Okay, bring down my equal sign. 32 plus 15, that's 47. So what we found out is that x equals 47. Now what we can do to check to make sure that answer makes sense, let's take our x, okay, and let's plug it back in to our original equation to make sure if it makes sense. Okay, so if I substitute in 47 for x, I'll have 47 minus 15 equals 32. 47 minus 15, let's work that out real quick to make sure. 7 minus 5, let's see, that's 2, 3, oh, so I would get 32, because 47 minus 15 is 32, equals 32. This is true, so that means I solved correctly. If I got something different over here and it said maybe 34 equals 32, that's not a true statement. That is not true, so that means I did something wrong and I had to go back and do my math. So that's how we check our work. Okay, so let's look at another problem here. Oh, let's change my color here. Let's go with blue. 16 plus x equals 34. Okay, so again, I want to get x by itself right here. Okay, I want it to be all alone on the left side of the equal sign. So what I need to do is I need to move this 16 over. I need to get rid of it by performing the opposite operation. Okay, so because this is a positive 16, I can subtract 16 from both sides. Okay, if I subtract 16 from both sides, 16 minus 16, that's 0. Cancels it out. Just bring down my x. Bring down my equal sign. And now I just need to do 34 minus 16. So let's do that. I need to borrow over here. This becomes 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. and I'm going to get x equals 18. And so what I can do is to make sure that that's true, I'll plug that x equals 18 back into my equation. So I have 16 plus x, and we're told x equals 18. So there's my x equals 34, and 16 plus 18, that is 34, equals 34. So it's true. Okay, so we're just getting x by itself by doing the opposite operation. And you guys, I do want to see these steps when you're doing your work. Okay, it's very, very important that we show all of our steps when solving equations because they will get more complicated in the next lesson. Okay, this one looks a little bit more complicated because it's a fraction, but it's still the same thing. Okay, this is x divided by 9 equals -8. Remember, fractions are all division problems. So this is x divided by 9. The opposite of division is multiplication. So if I'm dividing by 9, to get rid of this 9 so that x is by itself, I need to multiply by 9. Whoops. Oh, that was weird. Here, let's do that over again real quick. Okay, I need to multiply by 9. And whatever I do to my left side of my equation, I have to do to my right side. So if I multiply this side by 9, I have to multiply my right side by 9. All right, so I have 9 over 1 times x over 9. If I cross-reduce, remember these have a common factor, they're the same number. These cancel each other out. That's the whole reason why I multiplied by 9. Is it got rid of my denominator. Okay, so now I'm left with just x by itself equals -8 times 9. That's going to be negative because a negative times a positive is negative. 8 times 9, 72. So I get x equals -72. I'll go back and check my work just to make sure. -72 over 9, because again I was told x equals -72. So I'm just plugging that in right here for x. Okay, -72 over 9. 72 divided by 9, that is 8. And let's see, I have a negative divided by a positive. I'm dividing different signs, so that's negative as well. -8. And look, -8. So we are correct. Okay. Real quick, your number clue for this lesson, the number is greater than -150. Okay, last example I have here. Okay, whenever we're using fractions and decimals, we're still using the same rules. Okay, we're still doing the opposite operation. Okay, so I have 2/3 times x equals 2/9. So because this right here is multiplication, okay, this is multiplication right here. So what's the opposite of multiplication? And it's division. So I have 2/3 x, let's rewrite this, equals 2/9. What I need to do, I need to divide by 2/3. Divide by 2/3. Okay? And if we remember before, 2/3 divided by 2/3, that's just like, that's what we're doing is we're just multiplying by the reciprocal. So that actually equals 2/3 times 3/2. Okay? Keep, change, flip. So that cancels itself out because when I do this, I just get 6 over 6, and that's just 1. So these cancel each other out right here. So I'm left with just x equals 2/9 divided by 2/3. Okay, so let's go work that out. 2/9 divided by 2/3. Okay, so now I have 2/9 times 3/2 because when we're dividing fractions, we keep, change, flip. So I change it to multiplication, flip to my second fraction. Now I can cross reduce, 2 and 2 cancel each other out. 3 and 9, let's see here, what happens here? Oh, I can divide by 3, so that becomes 1. Divide by 3, it becomes a 3. I'm left with x equals 1/3. And that's it, you guys. So when we're solving one-step equations, just perform the opposite operation, and that'll help you out. Okay? Have a great day.